How is the video game industry communicating sustainability? Well, game on, because today we're gonna find out. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Sustainability Communicator, the podcast exploring the intersection of corporate sustainability and storytelling. I'm your host, Mike Hauer, a sustainability communication nerd with more than 15 years of experience on both sides of the podium, as a journalist for media outlets like GreenBiz and a communication strategist for major global companies. During each episode, we explore interesting sustainability communication challenges, risks, and opportunities facing folks in the business community and beyond. If you're ready to talk your walk, then you've come to the right place. Time to get to it. Hey, everybody. I'm here today with Neil Patel, Senior Director of Sustainability at T2. T2 is a video game developer and publisher for consoles and mobile. They own Rockstar, maker of series like Grand Theft Auto. Thanks for being here today, Neil.
Hey, thanks, Mike. I'm happy to be here.
So today I wanted to ask you a couple questions about sustainability communication trends you're seeing across the gaming and tech sector. So to kick it off, we'll just start there. What are some of the biggest communications challenges that
Mhm.
you're seeing currently in the gaming and tech sector?
Sure. It's a great question because I think the biggest challenge right now for us is that sustainability is fairly new to the gaming industry as companies and their peers are starting to develop their strategies and kind of their understanding of their impact. I think the stem is from us. We're not really a resource intensive kind of industry. And there's a lot of uncertainty of where that responsibility goes, right? Because we develop the games, but we rely on different consoles or your phones or the internet provider to really, transmit those games. And so now we're working, peers across our value chain to really understand what that is. And so the challenge is communicating why it's important, why it matters to the business, and then what we can do about it.
Can you tell me a little bit about T2's approach to communicating sustainability?
Yeah, right now it's really about setting up the foundation. So a lot of the topics are new to the company, to the industry, and so a lot of the comms are spent around education, really explaining what the topic is, explaining why it's important or why it's not important as material to us. And so what we're doing here is just really connecting all these different topics to the business and making those stronger and a little bit clearer. And so as we come out with strategies or initiatives, it helps explain it. It helps our employees and our stakeholders really understand why we're doing things.
I know you were mentioning earlier before we started recording that you're really thinking about getting your company ready for complying with CSRD and other
Oh,
regulations coming out of Europe and also in California. Can you talk a little about that and how you're approaching that?
sure. That's definitely a big concern for us, the regulatory and the compliance aspect of sustainability of ESG. And so we want to make sure that we're not duplicating efforts, right? We don't want to have a huge sustainability program and then redoing a lot of our data collection or our work so it complies with all the various regulatory kind of frameworks out there. What we want to do is we want to be efficient in our work. We're not just here to sign documents and create policies, but we're actually here to make an impact. And so what we want to do is see what the guidance is out there, see where the mapping exercises are, where there's alignment, where does our kind of organization come in, and making sure that we're making decisions that strengthen the business at first, and then can address a lot of these regulatory issues. And so if we set it up before we have a really deep program or a really embedded program, it'll make it a lot easier to comply with them.
So as we move into 2024, what are some of the
hmm
key sustainability communication trends that you're seeing?
Yeah. And I think, so I'm starting to see, and I hope I see more of it, is the movement back to making it simple. I think we kind of got away from it the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Really, as companies got more advanced and more mature, they got more technical. And so I think they brought a lot more really specific definitions, a lot more jargon into their communications because they're trying to be really precise to demonstrate that they fully understand the topic, that they've really grasped what it is. But I think what that does is it creates a gap between, normal consumers or people that aren't as involved in the day to day and understanding what that actual impact is. So I think we've over indexed to, precision and accuracy where we will start to fall back a little bit and more focus on kind of the qualitative descriptions to really demonstrate like what the actual impact is, and using common language. Right. And I also think that kind of leads to the next point is a lot of companies, when they're doing sustainability, will try to do every single topic because they get asked about that. But I think companies now with, regulation coming out with materiality as being a more of an important aspect, finding what's actually relevant to the organization and understanding that it's better to go deeper on a few topics versus, kind of shallow on a wide variety of topics.
I can definitely see that in my own work, working with a lot of companies on sustainability reports, for example. Some companies want to just capture every single topic in the
Right.
report that might not even be material to them, just because they feel like they need to tell a holistic story. But you're right. I think we're moving towards kind of the broad narrative to the more narrow, specific narrative
Mhm.
around sustainability efforts.
A lot of that time spending covering those, smaller, kind of unrelated topics is time and resources not spent on actually doing more of the impactful work.
Right. You got to make sure that
Right.
you're investing in actually doing the work, adding
Yeah.
substance to your story, not just focusing just on the story.
Right. Yeah. We only have limited capacity.
Right. I always like to ask everybody I talk to about their career journey. Would you be able to tell us just maybe real
Sure.
briefly how you got to where you are, and any advice you'd give to somebody trying to break into sustainability?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it's interesting because no journeys are really that similar in sustainability. These professionals come in all different shapes and sizes. And so my journey started. So my training, my education is in mechanical engineering. And my first work out of college was helping design more efficient buildings in the city. And then that slowly worked and grew it where I was in house, helping the company save energy on their manufacturing. And then sustainability kind of evolved, from the energy and the emissions focus to more the broad kind of sustainability that we see today. And with that, the role expanded. And so from taking that experience from manufacturing, was able to jump to a few different industries. But I was able to do that because, sustainability focuses, the work is all the same, right? You're creating clear projects, you're tracking it, you're being able to communicate performance and impact, regardless of the industry. And so as the topics or, the definition might change a little bit, the work inherently is the same. And so from in terms of advice of getting in there, I think that's kind of, I prioritize finding sustainability in the passion or the career that you're currently in and using that as kind of the wedge in, right? Because each role can be done a little bit more sustainability. And so there's always kind of that overlap.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's no one pathway into sustainability, and
Right.
it's always tough to give career advice because it's really, I think it boils down to just you got to stick it out, and eventually you'll find your way there, which is not
Yeah.
what people want to
Some people
hear.
get
But I
there.
think
Yeah.
all of us, we got here through endurance, I think. Yeah. Great.
Right.
Well, thank you, Neil. This was super helpful. I hope you have a good day, and thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah. Anytime. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
And with that, we've reached the end of this episode of the Sustainability Communicator Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you like what you heard and you'd like to hear more, stay tuned for future episodes that cover a variety of topics in sustainability storytelling. To stay in the know of future episodes and other content, you can follow me, Mike Hauer, on LinkedIn, or you can follow us on our newsletter. You can sign up for that in the show notes. And you can visit us on our website at www.howarimpact.com. Wherever you are in your sustainability journey, good luck and keep at it. We need you out there.